Hello my Scorpios, welcome to your February 2016 astrological forecast, your horoscope for the month of February. You'll have to pardon me, my voice is a little bit raspy. It is cold out here and I'm wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater, so pretty sure some of you Scorpios may appreciate those things. There's like a really cool wall behind me. It's black and mysterious and has like this ancient Chinese writing, and I know Scorpios, we like to decipher like symbols and try to figure out what things mean, and we like mysteriousness, so yeah, that's why this is behind me. Thought you guys might appreciate that. But anyway, what's going to be going on in February for us Scorpios? Well, I'm a Scorpio rising, so this is for Scorpio rising, sun or moon sign. Well, first of all, the sun starts out in our fourth house in Aquarius. The fourth house is the house of home and family. It's the house of the actual home. Some things that can go on while the sun is there highlighting that area of our lives. It's just putting more of a focus and emphasis on our family. The fourth house is an energy that corresponds with the sign of Cancer. And you know, Cancers are all about their family, their moms, their kids, and babies, and food, you know. So while the sun is in there, we're going to be feeling a little bit like our fellow water sign Cancer. We're going to be feeling like a little bit more worried about our family. You know, any family issues that come up that normally we would kind of say, you know what, ain't nobody got time for that. We're gonna really start focusing on them and stop and say, no, you know what, I think this needs to be taken care of. We're going to be more inclined towards cooking and taking care of the home, and you know, the like responsibilities around the house. Some of us may be actually moving or renovating our homes, changing some things around the homes, or like in my case, new family members moving into the home. Just any changes within the home can happen while the sun is in your fourth house. On February 20th, the sun moves into Pisces, and that's our fifth house. So the fifth house is the house of romance and children and flirting and dating and, you know, casual dating and creativity. And also, if you have your own business, the fifth house highlights that as well. While the sun is there, we're still going to have some other planets in the fourth house that I will speak about in a minute. So home and family and children are very important for us in February. If we weren't paying as much attention to our kids and our home life, while the sun and other planets were in Capricorn, which is our third house, keeping us like super busy and go, and we can't really focus as much on the details as we'd like to. That was, you know, January and December, the 2 months previous. That's what was going on. But while the sun and other planets start moving through our fourth and fifth houses, Scorpios, anything that we skipped over in regards to our family and our kids are gonna come to the surface during February. If there's anything that your kids need, like say for instance, you know, our kids were not doing as well in school and might need tutoring or might need extra attention from teachers. The teachers haven't really been doing what they're supposed to do. We're gonna see that even more now. You know, a few months ago we may have not really noticed it, but now we're gonna notice it, because the fifth house is the energy that is similar to the sign of Leo. Leos, the world revolves around them and their kids, all right? You cannot deny attention to a Leo or their children. So while the fifth house is being highlighted this month, if anyone is not doing what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to our family and our children, like say for instance, your children's doctor or pediatrician isn't doing a good enough job with making sure that your kid is okay, or looking at issues that that you feel like need to be looked at, you're going to be like, I'm going to be changing my kid's pediatrician. Actually, I have a Leo coworker, and today I heard her over the phone say just that, because she felt like her doctor's office wasn't giving her kid the right attention. So she was like, I'm changing that pediatrician. And just last week, the school wasn't doing what they were supposed to do with one of her other kids. So she was like, I'm calling the principal, I'm calling the district, I might get a lawyer, this, that, and the other. So I don't mean to be putting all her personal business out there, but she's a Leo. And I know she has Cancer energy too, fourth and fifth house energy. So I'm just telling you, Scorpios, an example of how you can be feeling about your kids and about your family right now in February with these transits. So if you're not going to be focusing on children, if you don't have kids or whatever, this is a great time for romance. The sun moves into your 5th house on the 20th, but in the 4th house before that, Valentine's Day, the sun will be in the 4th. So if you do have someone special to spend time with, you might want to just stay at home and be cozy. And Scorpios, we're not, generally speaking, we're not extroverted signs that like to go out amongst crowds and, you know, a lot of people. We don't like doing that. So Valentine's Day, the sun in the 4th may make you just want to stay home and snuggle up with somebody and just have some hot cocoa, some tea, whatever, a good meal, watch a movie, and, you know. If you have your own business while the sun is in the 5th house, you're going to be seeing a lot more creative ideas that you can implement into your business and get it going and get people seeing you and gain more clientele. And you know, you might be doing things like building a website or coming up with some creative like business cards or some creative ideas for advertising. On the 28th of February, Scorpio, the sun will be in Pisces in your 5th house, and it's going to come in conjunction with Neptune. Neptune energy and Pisces energy are pretty much the same. And if it's in the 5th house of romance, what can happen around the 28th, either a few days before, a few days after, and on that day, is if you do meet someone, you could be lost in like a dream world, a fantasy world with them. You could be feeling like, oh my gosh, this person is a dream. Like, where have they been all my life? And just really lose touch with reality. This is a great time to go on maybe a faraway trip and escape with them that way. That could be a good time, a good way to bond with somebody, especially for us Scorpios, because we like to really dig deep into the psyche of another person. We're very curious about what they're thinking because Scorpio is a sign that represents psychology. So going on a road trip, just you and somebody that you really care about or you're interested in, just you two talking, asking each other like your deepest desires and your deepest thoughts. I can't think of a better way to bond with somebody, and especially because Pisces is all about escapism. Escape the world with just that one special person and just really have a great time with them. If you're not into romance, the sun conjunct Neptune in your 5th house. Once again, if you have your own business, more creativity, Scorpio. More creative ideas are going to be channeled and just like come to you like that. Because if you look at the symbol for Neptune, when you look at a natal chart, it looks like a little antenna to me. So to me, it's like Neptune energy is receptive. So you're receiving all of this energy and tuning into this channel that's like up there, and you're just like receiving creativity out of nowhere. Neptune and Pisces energy is the energy of being a natural at something, like something creative. Like you can just put your hands on the keys on a piano and all of a sudden just start playing. You don't need to read notes. You don't need to know how to read sheets of music. You just feel it out and do it. So you can have that kind of energy happening for you when it comes to a creative project or your own business. So it'll be a great time for that. So what's Venus doing this month? Well, Venus starts out in Capricorn, which is your 3rd house. 3rd house is the energy of communication, of communicating with people like your regular day-to-day people, you know, maybe your co-workers or even like your siblings, your cousins, people that you just see like at Starbucks or at the grocery store. Scorpios, we're not normally a very like sociable sign. We keep to ourselves because we're very protective and we don't trust people right off the bat. But when Venus is in the 3rd house, we won't mind kind of just chit-chatting a little bit casually with coworkers or people that we see, you know, in our day-to-day activities and while running errands. So it's going to bring that energy out for us. Venus is going to come in conjunction with Pluto. Pluto is the modern day ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is like the same energy as Scorpio. It's very deep, it's very mysterious, deep soul diving. Well, since the 3rd house, it also rules the logical mind. What can happen is during that short period of time when Venus is in conjunction with Pluto, it's gonna kind of slow down the feelings of being so open to talking to, you know, strangers or to talking to people about like casual day-to-day small talk. Scorpio, we really don't like that very much by nature anyway. And when Venus is in conjunction with Pluto in our third, if we do have conversations with people, we're going to feel more like talking about deep subjects, you know, like what's really on your mind, what's really behind this, what's really behind that thought, what is really behind everything and anything. It can also bring you love or romance within any of those areas that you do your day-to-day casual activities and run errands. Like maybe you can meet love at the grocery store. That's quite a possibility. Or at the bank, or at the library. I mean, anywhere where you go day to day. Starbucks, or meet someone through a friend or a cousin or, you know, a sibling. On the 18th of February, Venus is going to move into your 4th house in Aquarius. Even more great times with family. Even more great times with cooking for your family, sharing food with your family. Venus in the 4th is like double the energy of really seeking out comfort through food. It corresponds with the sign of Cancer. So with Venus there, that's food. The 4th house is food. Scorpios, if you're trying to keep your body in shape, you may want to watch yourself while Venus is in your 4th house, because it's going to bring more craving, especially very rich foods. Or the 4th house is the house of like your roots and your home country. So if you have particular foods that are in relation to where you come from, like your cultural background, you're going to really crave those even more right now. You're going to be like, oh, I want my mom's cooking right now, or my grandma, or, you know, my dad's cooking, or whatever. However, Mars is in Scorpio, in our sign, in our 1st house of the body and the self. So you know what? It may not be such a bad thing for us to indulge a little bit in some really rich, comforting foods, because Mars is going to keep us active, keep us moving. Mars is our drive and our energy physically, you know, and if he's in the house of our physical body, it's like we really are like warriors right now, moving. And I know me, I'm a Scorpio rising. I know I've been like walking a lot faster, waking up earlier, having like a lot of physical energy. A lot of Scorpio risings I know are like working out extra right now. Even some Scorpio rising women I know are like lifting weights and really getting their bodies like really strong. If you're trying to keep up with your bodybuilding or working out, I would say watch it with the food during this month, but you can definitely have enough energy to like burn off all those calories like that, Scorpio. If you really haven't been getting along with your mother, then Venus in the 4th might make you want to make that call and say, you know what, Mom, I actually do miss you, and we need to get together for coffee or something. So as I already mentioned, Mars is still in Scorpio. Mars is still in our 1st house. The Scorpios that are going to feel the Mars energy the most are the Scorpios that have their sun, their moon, or their rising sign anywhere between 14 and 27 degrees of Scorpio. You are going to be feeling this intense energy, and let me tell you, Scorpios, we're already a very intense and passionate sign, and actually Mars is the ancient ruler of our sign, Scorpio. Point that Mars arrow at your work, at building your body to be stronger. If you're not into going to the gym and working out, it's going to put more focus on taking care of yourself. Don't point the Mars arrow at other people and just go after them and point fingers and be like angry towards them and like a drill sergeant. Mars is like, I'm a soldier, I'm at war. You know, you're going to feel sometimes like the world is against you, and you have to be even more protective. We have that shell. Scorpions have a shell that protects the soft inside of us. Mars is going to make us even more fight to protect ourselves and keep that shell over us. And a lot of times Scorpios, we can kind of, I hate to say the term schizophrenic, but we can get kind of schizophrenic and paranoid at times. Like, oh my gosh, you know, is everyone after me? Any little thing that we feel like is aimed against us can make us feel like that and start like, you know, we want to just blast and start shooting at everybody. Like, I'm taking everybody out to make sure nobody takes me down. So try to avoid having that attitude unless it's completely necessary, of course, because Mars going through our 1st house. If we are not diverting that energy and dispersing that energy out in a positive way, we can easily have it aimed at us. We can easily become the target. So just be very careful and defend yourself, of course, to the fullest if anybody really tries to attack you and come at you. But try to be careful to not become paranoid and imagine things that aren't really going on, to where you're just attacking people for no reason. Mercury continues to be in Capricorn in our 3rd house, and he's in shadow until February 8th. 3rd house is communication, and it is ruled by Mercury because the 3rd house corresponds with the 3rd sign of the zodiac, which is Gemini. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Gemini, Mercury, the 3rd house, they're all a very similar energy. So while Mercury is there, you may have a lot of moments where you feel a lot like a Gemini. Like, look at me. I have Mercury in the 3rd right now, and I'm like talking with my hands a lot more. Mercury rules the hands. It rules communication. You might be talking a lot faster. And while Mercury's in shadow, he's still going to be causing a lot of chaos in our world if we are not paying attention to details. We are an energy and a sign that normally does pay very close attention to details. But while Mercury is there skipping around in our 3rd house, making our minds move a lot faster and wanting to just really just get things done and get things organized, we're going to be skipping over some details, okay, just to be honest with you. So just be really careful with that and be mindful of that. While Mercury is in our 3rd house, he's going to come in conjunction with Pluto. We are going to slow down the small talk and the surface level and go back to being our scorpionic, deep soul diving selves, and our minds are going to go plunging even deeper at this time. We're going to be asking people a lot more questions. What exactly does that mean? Where did you get that information? Are you sure about that? I need to know the details. You can't just tell me like 2 words and expect me to know exactly what's going on. You need to talk and tell me really what's going on here. That's going to be the energy of Mercury and Pluto together. One thing I would say to be careful of, Scorpios, something that we're famously known for, and you know it's true, is really digging for information, like, I don't want to say spying on people or snooping, but we can do that at times, especially if our Scorpion radar picks up on some BS that people are trying to, you know, skim by us. We're gonna catch it and be like, honey, I saw that text message in the corner of my eye on your phone, even though it was like 5 feet away. So you need to tell me exactly who that was. I don't recognize that number. On the 14th, on Valentine's Day, Mercury is going to move into Aquarius in our 4th house. We're chatting it up with family, having some good times playing games with family, you know, at family get-togethers, maybe playing some card games, some board games, just talking about old times, and maybe telling some stories or listening to some good stories about the past, about our family history and our roots. With Mercury in our 4th house, we're going to be a little more introverted than usual. We're not going to be as chatty, and people are really going to wonder what happened to us around that time. So since it goes into the 4th on Valentine's Day, it's even more validation that Valentine's Day, Scorpios might be laying a little more low and just want to keep things kind of more personal and private, even more than we usually do. So what is going on with Jupiter? Jupiter continues to travel through our 11th house in Virgo, and he is conjunct the North Node. So any planet that the North Node touches, it's going to accelerate that energy. Jupiter is already like a really big, expansive energy. It just brings so much to whatever area it's transiting through, and it magnifies it and expands it, and it brings it to light even like 10 times more, right? Groups and online groups and organizations we belong to, friendships are just gonna, you know, we might be making a lot more new friends, especially online. We may have more good times with friends and be invited to a lot more places, and you might have all these like groups on Facebook invite you in a lot more than usual. So a really good time for, you know, networking and making a lot of new friends. As far as the moons, well, the new moon is going to be in Aquarius on February 8th at 19 degrees Aquarius in our 4th house. New moon, new beginning. 4th house, home and family. Maybe you are really making some changes in the home, like for real, like you might be actually moving to a new home. This is more validation of that. You might have a new family member pop up. You might have new family members, once again, moving into your home, or maybe just a new beginning in the relationship between you and a family member, especially especially if you have any family members that are like estranged from your life. And you know, we Scorpios, we had Neptune traveling through our 4th house for some years. Some of us, depending upon how our charts are set up, may still have Neptune in the 4th house. And Neptune can cause losses. You know, that means losses of even ties with people, or just losing contact with people in our family. New moon there can bring a new beginning and maybe get back in touch with family that we were estranged from. The full moon is going to be at 3 degrees Virgo in our 11th house on the 22nd of February. So when the 11th house is highlighted, you could be seen even more like on the internet or amongst the masses. So if you're trying to do something to really get yourself out there and get yourself seen, start a blog or something, then Scorpio, excellent time to do that. Go on, get yourself out there. Don't hide in that scorpion shell. Take advantage of this energy so it can accelerate you as high as you want to go. All right, Scorpio, so to wrap up this horoscope for you for February 2016, the main emphasis is definitely going to be on family. So talking to family, getting back in touch with family, focusing on your children, spending time with family, maybe eating more food, so watch yourself. Also the 3rd house, which is communication, and don't forget a little more technological mishaps up until around the 8th of February, which I've been having this whole time I've been doing horoscope videos, so please bear with me through my technical difficulties. But more 3rd house energy, and then once we move into the 4th house, we're going to feel a little more introverted and skipping the small talk. 11th house of groups and organizations, friendships, spending time with friends, making new friends and new connections on the internet and networking. And secondary focuses are going to be 1st house of self, with Mars being there, so make sure you're not pointing that Mars arrow at people and being too aggressive. I know I've been told that already. Make sure you're using it wisely, like working out and getting active and just really taking care of yourself. And then last is the 5th house, which is your kids, your romantic relationships, your creativity. So spend some good time with your kids and let that creativity come out and shine like really bright and show everybody what you're made of, Scorpio. All right, Scorpios, well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great month of February. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep on doing these horoscopes because I absolutely love doing them. Leave comments below. Let me know how your month is going. I'm sure I can relate to a lot of things that you guys are going to say because I'm a Scorpio rising. I know I've said that like 50 times. My bad. But anyway, have a great month, and I'll see you guys in March.